Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Batman Beyond review series. And today I am here once again to provide an audio commentary watch along for another episode from the show's first season. This time it's A Touch of Curare, another favourite episode of mine from season 1. So, what I remember the most about this episode, it introduced us to a silent assassin called Curare. And this episode, for the most part, was very good. It was very enjoyable. But there were a couple of things that I had an issue with. These are not necessarily negative, they're more like questions than negatives. Questions that were asked but not necessarily answered properly or addressed in detail. The first one, of course, was why was Curare targeting DA Sam Young? Because I felt that wasn't really explained properly. In fact, I don't even think it was mentioned. Second of all, we didn't really know much about Curare's backstory. I felt that could have been a bit more fleshed out. The most we got was she is an assassin for hire. Interpol's been after her for a very long time, and that's about it. We didn't really get much else. Now, I love the idea of a mysterious assassin going after people. That concept never gets old. But I would have liked to have seen Curare without the mask, so we could have seen her real face, maybe just once after Curare got captured. But aside from those little issues, this was a very good episode. And this episode gave us the first official meeting between Commissioner Barbara Gordon and Terry McGinnis, which it was something that they've been building up to for a couple of episodes now. So we finally got that paid off. They did meet each other at the end of Spellbound, which sets up for this episode. And obviously, as we go along, we'll talk about the scene that Barbara Gordon and Terry McGinnis had together, which was one of the highlights of this episode. But above all else, this was a very good episode. I remember watching this on CITV about 100 years ago. And I remember it was very good. And I rewatched the entire show back in 2020. And I remember coming to this episode, and it was as good as I remembered. Nothing really changed from what I remembered. It was exactly as it was when I first watched it. But yeah, this was very good. I really like this one a lot. So, with that all said, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about A Touch of Curare. And on three. One, two, three. Here we go. Do 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 do. Woohoo! So, A Touch of Curare. This episode was very good, as I said already. One of my favourites from season 1. And Curare is one of those villains. She could have easily have been in BTAS, because BTAS had a few villains like that. So I think she could have fitted in very well. Maybe she could have been Ray Shuggel's, replacement for Talia. Maybe not as a daughter, but as like his right hand woman slash assassin. I think that could have worked. But Curare is an interesting villain because we don't really know anything about her. So that adds to the mystery. And we never really got the mystery solved about this villain. But I think that's what makes her very appealing because we don't know anything about her. So here we are. Here is Commissioner Barbara Gordon and DA Sam Young, who kind of looks like Morgan Freeman. Uh, what can I say, really? So, Barbara Gordon and Sam Young are married. So, they work together and they're married and they live together. So, it's nice to see that one of the original Bat family members got to live a normal life. And here is Curare. See, Curare just shows up out of nowhere and goes straight for Sam Young. This is another thing that I was saying earlier. Why is Curare after Sam Young? This should have been referenced and addressed straight away. And of course, Barbara is no stranger to assassins. And I like how Sam Young really tries to hold his own against Curare. So he's not some feeble old guy. He can hold his own in a fight. So Terry's here to the rescue, going after Curare. But again, this is my point. Why is she after him? We should have got an answer, but we didn't. Still a good episode, though. I'm not hating on this episode, but come on. Another thing I just realised about Sam Young, he looks like a much older Lucius Fox. Maybe we could have had him as Lucius Fox Jr. because that was mentioned back in Blackout. But I like Sam Young. He's cool. Would have liked to have had a little bit more backstory about Barbara Gordon and Sam Young. I think in one of the tie-in comics from the 2010 run, I think they did mention about how Barbara and Sam met. I'll have to go back and check, but I think there was something about their relationship, how they first met. Obviously, they must have met when Barbara was training to be a cop for the police after she quit being Batgirl. So I would imagine that's how they first met. So the police are trying to take down Curare with no such luck. She's quite a handful, shall we say. She's definitely a handful. So we see Terry attempts to go after Curare, but unfortunately she's gone, like most good assassins. And here we are, Bruce and Terry in the Batcave, and they found a rare old picture of Curare. Nobody knows her name anymore or her face. Yeah, this is good stuff here. I guess you want me to keep an eye on the commissioner? No, Barbara Gordon isn't the target. Her husband is. See again, why is Sam Young the target? That's what I want to know. Oh, here we go. I love how Terry's like, oh my god, Barbara's in the cave. What do we do, Bruce? And Bruce is like, hello, Barbara. Long time, Bruce. How's Sam? Yeah, he's holding up. I love how Terry's like, how are you okay with this? Oh, here we go. I see you sewed up the bullet holes. You're Batgirl. She's Batgirl. I love how Bruce is like, I do know that. Was Batgirl. That brand of justice went out with the Tommy gun, kid. Oh, this is great stuff here. Hard to believe you're still reworking your image at this late date. I never forced him. It's what I wanted. That's what we all thought at the beginning. Yeah, I like what Barbara says here. I'm not my father. I won't look the other way. I hope I don't ever come here again. Capiche? Oh dear. Tensions. Oh dear. I mean it, Bruce. Stay out of it. It's an interesting dynamic we've got here. For years, Bruce and Jim Gordon worked together very closely. They were like brothers, worked very closely fighting crime. And, you know, Jim always valued Batman as an ally. But Barbara, on the other hand, has got no time for Terry whatsoever, which is understandable. And, so it's an interesting dynamic. So we see Kurare's people have pretty much told Curare, don't let us down or else. But again, why was Sam the target? As I said, this was still a good episode, but I don't know really. Just a couple of little things. Being such the nerd that I am, I like things explained to me. I don't like this whole viewers logic thing where, everyone's just supposed to roll with it. I like to be told and explained why, because that's what storytelling is about. You want people to understand and, you know, be told that, oh, that's why. So Barbara has doubled up on the security, and there she is, the assassin herself, Curare. Barbara's really pulling out all the stops here. Well, it's her husband, so, it's understandable. So even though Barbara has no time for Bruce or Terry, Bruce still cares about Barbara because, they worked together for years as Batman and Batgirl in more ways than one. Woohoo! Here we go. Curare in the house. Yeah, she's got quite a cool look, blue skin. She's got like this cape with a mask, like a hood. The cloth like covers her whole face. It's interesting because that sort of look would become quite popular in Assassin's Creed years later. But I don't know really. She's got an interesting look. It's kind of like Middle Eastern, you know. Still think they should have at least given us a bit more on her backstory. Well, so far, Curare has pretty much got everyone on the ropes. She has pretty much owned everybody thus far. I'm just thinking, did they bring her back? I believe they did bring her back for one more episode. I'm just trying to remember when and where. I'll find out later, but I'm pretty sure they did bring her back. She wasn't just some one shot character. I love that Terry using the camouflage and just decks her. Love it. Here we go. Through a table. Oh dear. Whoa. So that's the most we get. You just see like the back of her head. I think I did see a picture, drawn obviously, of Curare without the mask, and yeah, it's not pretty. She's got like a bald head and weird pointy ears and these big earrings and this weird teeth. So yeah, I can see why they wouldn't, you know, use that in the cartoon. Oh, come on, Curare. You know that's not really Sam Young. Why would Sam Young just stand there? Come on. No! Here we go. Clever. Oh wow, that's some cool security. I'd love to have something like that. How could see that's another thing. Terry's in like this laser trap, and Kurari just takes the sword and says, "I'll take that, thank you." That would actually fry your hand or your entire arm. Oh, that's a cool shot. So yeah, so far Kurari has owned Batman and the police. Come on, guys, you're better than this. Awesome. I think she's gone, boys. Yeah, she's gone. She's not gone. She's long gone. Oh boy. Here we go. Barbara's not happy. Oh boy. Poor Sam. He's a cool character. Yes, Terry. Oh, here's Barbara. Yeah, you can see Barbara's got no time for Batman whatsoever. This is the last warning. If I see so much as a pointy-eared shadow anywhere near police business, I will drag you and Bruce to jail. You got me? And here it comes. Why do you hate him so much? Ancient history, McGinnis. History's my favourite subject. And Barbara has a smile on her face. Now, this scene here between Terry and Barbara was probably my favourite scene of the entire episode. But the stuff that was addressed here was pretty much what we knew already. And she talks about Dick Grayson. So this is the first time that Dick Grayson has actually been addressed in the show. There was a little bit in Spellbound where Terry found Dick Grayson's old suit and it said DG, and he asked Bruce, "Who's DG?" And Bruce obviously didn't say anything. Now, what they're talking about here is an episode from TNBA called Old Wounds, which is excellent, by the way. The Lost Years comic book is even better. But anyway, they talk about in this episode, you know, Dick growing tired of being in Bruce's shadow and he decided to leave, which is well documented. But another thing that's mentioned here is Bruce and Barbara were more than just friends. And we also learn here that Dick was hurt that Barbara chose to stay behind with Bruce as his girlfriend. Yeah, that would hurt anyone, really. And we get a little insight as to why Barbara quit being Batgirl. She wanted to settle down, have a proper relationship. Bruce didn't because Batman came first. So Barbara left. But we would learn later on in the 2010 comic run that Barbara quit being Batgirl on the same night that the Joker corrupted Tim Drake, which is a lot more powerful than the reason we were given here. But still a good scene. But as I said, they pretty much addressed stuff that we knew already. But it was still cool to hear Dick Grayson get a nice little mention. So I like that. I'm happy with that, but would have liked to have heard a bit more. So Curare has listened in and she's ready to pounce on poor Sam Young. So Bruce is obviously pinpointing the train that Sam will be on. I'm just trying to protect her. It's what I do. I like what Terry says here. I respect Barbara, Bruce. I like her a lot. I'm not going to cross her. Do you know what happens to a member of the Society of Assassins when they fail to kill their target? They become the target. You mean they kill their own? Except they've never had to. Not one of them has ever failed. And Curare is the best they have. Okay. But it still doesn't explain why Curare and the Society of Assassins have it in for Sam Young. Still doesn't explain anything. That's my only big takeaway from this episode is that we never really learned the reason why they had it in for him. I just felt that could have been expanded upon more. And here's Curare. Would have been cool if they tied her to Ra's al Ghul and Talia. That would have been awesome. But what can you do? So Curare is aboard the train that the police are guarding with Sam. She is a cool character, but I feel she could have been fleshed out a lot more. So I have to say, this is one of the few villains I can remember in Batman Beyond. Oh, ow. She just takes out everyone. Look at that! That is so dark. Oh my god. You actually see people falling off from the top of the bridge. Come on now. I'll tell you something. Batman Beyond was definitely a lot darker than BTAS. Oh, the carriage has gone flying. Ow. Where's Terry? Don't tell me he's fallen asleep again. Nah, he's probably on his way as we speak. And Curare is stalking, not following, stalking Barbara and Sam in a meat company. Yeah, I would be, you know, very happy if I had Barbara on my team. Come on, ex Batgirl, I'll be in very safe hands. So she's in the meat factory. Oh, that's cold. Did you see what I did there? Here we go. Come on, Barbara. Do, 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 do. Finally. That's a cool shot there. Nice. That's not nice. So looks like Curare. Oh, that's painful. Come on, Terry. Oh, that's a good trick, actually. Surprised no one ever thought of that when they use a sword on Batman. Wow. I would never have thought of that. Use the reflection of the light to try and blind Batman. Nice. Oh, come on, Terry. Oh, nice. Barbara using the Batarang. Still got it. Would have been nice just for a little brief moment if they played the classic Batgirl theme. You go, that would have been awesome. But yeah, they didn't. Missed opportunity there. Could have played the iconic Batgirl theme, even just for a few seconds. Don't know what it is with female chicks, but they love squeezing Terry. Oh wow, I love this. I guess you never lose it. How did it feel? Just like old times. You better go. Just like old times, all right. You should have seen her, Bruce. She sure swings a mean battering. She always did. Nice. Oh, Curare has escaped police custody. Did you hear that? It's all right. I have a feeling we won't be seeing Curare anytime soon. She has other problems to deal with. Oh. And that wraps up my audio commentary watch along for A Touch of Curare. Overall, this was an excellent episode. I really enjoyed this one a lot. It's one of my favourites, but it's far from perfect because we never really got a reason why Curare was hunting down Sam Young. But aside from that, this was excellent. Loved the little tension between Barbara and Bruce seeing each other again. Loved the scene between Terry and Barbara. That was probably my favourite scene of the entire episode. Curare, great villain, but should have been fleshed out a little bit more. But other than that, this was a really good episode and one that I enjoyed very much and enjoyed seeing this again. I thought this was very good. And I think Curare did come back one more time later on in the show, but that was it really. I mean, she was a popular villain, but maybe not as popular as Ink or Spellbinder. But she was still quite well received from what I remember. But yeah, this was a good fun episode. But as I said, there were a couple of little issues. But aside from that, this was still very good. So anyway, that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What did you guys think of A Touch of Curare? Did you enjoy it? Do you agree with what I said? Do you think we should have been given a proper reason as to why Curare was going after DA Sam Young? And do you feel that her character should have been fleshed out a little bit more? Maybe could have been given us more of a proper backstory as to who she is and how did she become an assassin? And what did you think of the tense scenes between Barbara and Bruce and Barbara and Terry? Did you enjoy that? And did you like the little Dick Grayson mention that we got in this episode? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Batsman Beyond review series, where I'm going to be providing an audio commentary watch along for the season 1 finale, Ascension. So make sure you don't miss that. So until next time, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.